All good? Okay. Okay, hello everyone. So thanks for joining today's Ruby meetup before the long weekend. So I'm going to share some of my real story during interview and that how I screw up my code challenge. So hoping it's interesting. So let's get started and have some fun. A little bit about myself. So I'm currently a senior software engineer working at RSpec, and I have using like Ruby, Elixir, or Python for like 10 years. And the last 3 years, I pivoted to Golang for its static typing, interfaces, error handling, or native concurrency support that Ruby doesn't have. So the QR code is my LinkedIn profile, so happy to build connections. And outside work, I love to doing a lot of penetration testing as a hacker, and also love music, techno, and drinking beers. So some of you probably already know I went to a lot of breweries. Yeah. Okay. So this is today's agenda. So I will tell about the story, the interview I had, and how I screwed up, and I will show you why I feel that and why I think it's a pitfall or aspect and how we can prevent it. So first question is, what is our daily dev cycle? I mean, for myself, probably I do some coding, then I add in some aspect, then I run the test. And then if it's a passed, then I will upload it, push the commit to the CI/CD pipelines and let the CI to run. And then probably if the CI failed, I do another cycle, right? But for our locally, normally we don't set up the CI. So we probably only make changes and then run RSpec. If the RSpec passed, we thought everything is okay. Make it smaller. So that's what I normally do. And then I got the coding challenge and before I submitted that, so I made some changes, I ran the test, I think everything is good. And I did some kind of last minute review before I submitted my assignment. And this is the changes. So this is the last change I made because in my local editor, I'm a Vim user, so and I also configured the language support server with Rubicop. So on my editor, when I review this file, the Rubicop give me some kind of suggestion saying, okay, maybe you should call the super in the initialize function because it will initialize the state of the parent class. I didn't give a second thought. I thought, okay, it's not bad because probably I don't need a super now, but in the future, probably I could need it. So I added it, and then so it's a small change. So I run the RSpec, no failures, and didn't show anything. So I submitted my assignment, and I thought I did a very good design. Everything passed. It should be fine. So then my question is, when you see this kind of output, would you trust RSpec it runs all the tests or it didn't find any failures? So for me, the answer is yes. But this is a response I get from my interviewer. So he said, okay, unfortunately, there are quite a few errors in your code, namely around the compound interest. Some people probably know which company I'm interviewing with. And the run example I gave in the README displayed a lot of errors, so it didn't pass the test suite. And my first reaction is, what? How come? And then I run the specific file for the file I changed, and it actually really showed a lot of failures. And it made me think, why, if I run the RSpec without the specific file, it didn't show the failure. So then it gave me a question is, how can we force the RSpec to run all the test file we wrote? I didn't find any options, but I did a lot of Googling to see if we can just call RSpec and force it to run all the files it has. But I didn't find options. So, but we can set the RSpec to run the test randomly. So if you configure the RSpec to set the order to random, it will randomly to pick the file it will to test. So I started to run the RSpec, make it smaller. So I call the RSpec multiple times. You can see the first time there is no failure, but it's only run like 5 examples. And if I call RSpec again, you see it can show some failures. And if I call it again, only 1 example, 0 failure. Make it bigger. Wait, I have a. What the hell? The behavior is inconsistent. Then I have this question. Why doesn't run all the examples? I did another Googling. So this is my keyword for my Google for. And then I found some issues in the RSpec core repository. And it's saying if there is unhandled system exit, it will cause later specs to silent not run. And there are another similar issue. All this issue has been open for like 10 years. And no one really fixed that. And the reason they give from the core creator of RSpec is they said, if you, for example, when you run the RSpec, you can tap Ctrl+C to terminate it. So the reason they give is they can't distinguish how the system error, the system exit come from. It can come from inside your code, or it comes from outside when you tap Ctrl+C. So that's why they didn't fix this issue. So after I got those findings and I checked my code, then I realized in my main function, I have this method, and it will catch the argument error, and it will exit with the code number 1. Because the super I added doesn't receive any argument, so it will trigger this error. And when the exit was called, it exits the RSpec directly, and then it doesn't run all the following RSpec. So I think this is a pitfall of RSpec, and I want to blame someone. So who I can blame? I created this image. So it's Robocop. So Robocop punch the RSpec. Then how we can make this error or this kind of failure more explicitly? That's my next thing I want to do. Firstly, like I said, we can always set the order randomly, because by default, when you generate the RSpec configurations, nothing was configured, and it will just sequentially load all your tests. So always set it randomly. I think it's a good practice. Secondly, because in your terminal or in your shell, we normally don't see the exit code on your prompt. So my second suggestion is we probably configure our prompt in our terminal to always display the exit code. So currently you can see after my configuration, even though I can say there is 0 failures, but there is one exit code displayed. So I know something could be wrong. And the third thing is we can set up our CI. Currently, because GitHub can support like 1,000 hours free time to run your CI, and it's very easy. If you don't know how to set up, you can use the AI to generate the workflow for you. And when it's failed, it will give you a red cross, so you know something is wrong. Those are 3 suggestions I would take as a best practice. And currently, in all my coding challenges, I always add CI currently. And probably I think for RSpec itself, we can also using CI or not using AI to either fix the issues they mentioned. Because currently, if you want to create some new PRs, probably you need to read a lot of their code. I think AI is very good at that. Okay, this is all my story I want to share, and I want to acknowledge the project which is called Present Term, which allow you to make presentation in your terminal. And this CLI is built by using Rust. And all my image in these slides are created by ChatGPT. Okay, thank you. Any question?
I'd like to offer a counter argument, which is never make your tests random. They're supposed to be deterministic so that you can always verify that they're doing the thing that you expect. Do not make them random.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. And I might even say something about it in the Rubyverse thing later.
Cool. Yeah.
I'd just make another gotcha. If you're writing a script to run CI, one common mistake some people make is
that's a good example.
Runs or double or sign echo it failed, which swallows your exception, which then makes CI pass. So you're gonna leave the last failure at the end.
Yeah. So after I wrote the slides, I also made a. I also refactored all my tests by using mini test, and I forgot how to run it. It's called rig test. You see, it will fail. Okay.
Just to, maybe it's an obvious question, but the reason for the varying number of cases before, or the varying number of cases, was that because of just the order in which it was being executed? And if it got to that exit, then it would just basically...
Yeah, it will terminate the RSpec directly.
Yeah. Okay.
So basically, if I design RSpec by myself, I probably want to let it exit this way, because probably you can have some other sub process too, because normally you will assume RSpec will run all the files, right? You wouldn't think it will exit by, if something failed, it exit by itself.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Can I see the code that has the exit line on it again?
Yeah. Okay.
What were you rescuing there? Like maybe that was too broad.
Yeah, it's
And
also good.
Code problem caused that exit one to trigger where it wasn't.
Yeah. Okay. I'll show you.
Where like in an RSpec test, like you can normally do like, expect curly brackets expression to raise error system exit, right? That would have caught.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
It's the fact that it didn't. I'm just raising that as another thing. Maybe we needed to use a more specific.
Yeah. So my design is we have a CLI file, and the main function is the call, and it will accept some options. So basically, because the option can be anything, so that's why I try to rescue the argument error. I think it's normal, right? And I didn't realize it can also catching the error from other functions. And when it's exit, and also exit the RSpec, which I also didn't realize.
Fair enough.
Yeah, a custom error instead of reusing.
Yes.
Error,
Yeah.
would have been another way.
Yeah.
Any more questions?
Just a very minor one. How did you find the integration of Rubocop into Vim?
I didn't do that.
Oh, okay.
So currently I only have the, so you see here, why is it's blocked by this part.
Yeah. Oh.
Here, okay. So on my editor, you can see here, there is a solid graph. That's the language server. And it will give you a lot of good suggestions. For example, here you can see it's saying the method has too many lines. And by default, it only suggests us to make it smaller as 10 lines, but you still can configure the solid graphs configuration. So it will check your syntax errors, style errors, and give you a lot of suggestions. I feel it's quite good. So yeah, it's free.
Any more questions? All right, we're good.
Okay, thank you.